on to the next track in Sonia's Young Soul Saturdays. For those of you who have been watching, I hope you guys are enjoying the reactions. That have been awesome. The selection of music this week, well, every week is good, but this week I'm really enjoying it. We also started with 21 Pilots, so it set the tone for the day, essentially. But if you're only joining us now, go back and start from the beginning. And now we're literally on to the Teskey Brothers featuring Emma Donovan. Get Back to the Land. I think I know the Teskey Brothers, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, there's a message over here from Sonia as well that says Emma Donovan is an Aboriginal Australian singer and songwriter. She's a member of the renowned musical Donovan family. She started her singing career at age 7 with her uncle's band, the Donovans. Okay, man. Let's rock and roll, man. Let's hear. I've heard of this, the Teskey Brothers. I think we've reacted to one by the Teskey Brothers. Anyway, doesn't matter. Let's rock and roll. Let's see what we got.
When somebody does you wrong, what can you do? And you're not the only one they're making love to. When they let go of your hand, you got to get back to the land. It will never, ever.
Is that what he said? When they let go of your hand, you got to give back to the land? Because that's fire. So it's almost like kind of saying like you got to pass it on, right? Because it comes from your ancestry, it comes from your family, and eventually the people that are holding your hand, right, your parents that are growing you up, eventually they're going to go. They are passing on their ideals. They are passing on their worldview. They are passing on their values onto you. And you got to carry that torch, right? But carrying that torch means you need to give back. It's not about giving yourself. We've got too much of that going on in this modern day world where it's all about giving to myself, the self-aggrandizing. It's all about me, essentially. You start finding your soul. You start finding your purpose when you start giving back to something greater, which is the land you came from, sticking to your roots, your ancestry, living by things that are greater and more meaningful. Anyway, carry on. Let's go.
I'll never, ever hurt you.
Hey, when your so-called friends no longer want you around, you're not up with the trends that the other friends they found. If you don't fit into their plans, then get back to the land. 'Cause
if you don't fit in with their plans, then go back home. Go back to where you are accepted. Go back to the lands. That's fire. I really, really like that. Really, really cool. If you want to you don't fit into the system, right? Get out of it. Get out of that system and go back to home base. You know what I mean? Come on, man. Fire.
'Cause it'll never, ever let you down.
What is that instrument? That instrument that's going this instrument over here. What instrument is this? It almost feels like they're playing with that sort of steel rod across it as well. Anyway, give me the name down in the comment section, please.
And your mother, she always loved me. She wrapped you in her arms.
Said feed you milk and honey, right? Those are the good old days, man, where everything was done for you. So, and also that line of like, we'll feed you milk and honey. It's kind of like she also, by saying that everything seemed just sweet, right? You didn't really see what the world was about. You didn't quite understand the concept of finality. You don't quite understand the way the world works as a child. So everything just feels like it's milk and honey, but it's because your parents made it that way. The parents kind of like, they sheltered you. When I say sheltered you, it sounds quite bad. I think kids being sheltered today are not a good thing, but I'm saying they kind of like, they were your guardians in the sense is like, you don't need to see the strife of the world. You're a child, just be a child, essentially. You'll have more than enough time to sort of understand all the how harsh the world can be. Do you know what I mean? And then sort of reminiscing and going back to that, right, makes you appreciate that. That gives you that feeling of home. That gives you that feeling of being connected to something bigger and greater. That's why traditions are so important. That's why cultures are so important. That's why sticking to those and protecting those are so important, right? Because it's something that's very much ingrained into your entire lineage, where you come from. You can't detach from that. There's a spiritual element that comes from that as well. You can't detach the soul from the physical, right? We're doing too much of that today in terms of detaching the soul from the spiritual. That comes part and parcel, and you feel it with your family. You feel it with the people you love and stuff like that, right? And that has its roots in your heritage, in your ancestry. Come on.
And she'll keep you safe from harm. When nobody appreciates you,
Got a bit of the blues
where
sound
can
to
you
this.
go?
It could very well be blues, actually.
Do we pack our bags and catch that train to I don't know?
So yeah, it's one thing being secure, but you can't be secure forever. You have to take the risk. So that question over there, do we pack our bags and then take that train into, no, we don't know where we're going, right? It's not laid down for us. There's no fucking red carpet. We don't know where we're going. We've got to go and forge our future. And that's a terrifying notion. But eventually, when you get older, you just have to do that. That's just the way of life. I like that.
So when they don't understand, you got to get back to the land. It will never, ever, ever let you go. So when they don't understand, you got to get back to the land. 'Cause it will never, ever, ever let you go. It will never, ever, ever let you go.
You got to give back to the land because it'll never let you go. I love that. Very, very powerful statement over there, where you got to give back to the land because it never lets you go. If you give back to the land, right, it will always provide, right? But if you just take and pillage and don't give back, and that's from a spiritual sense as well, not just the actual land itself, right? It's kind of, you got to keep feeding it. You got to keep feeding it goodness. If you give back to the community, give back to the land, what you take, give back, right? Don't just take and absolve yourself of the responsibility to grow for others. Do you know what I mean? So if you do that, it'll never let you go. Spiritually, you'll always be sound, right? And and then also you will always be fed spiritually, and obviously if we're playing into the actual land itself, but it's more talking about well, actually it's probably both. But anyway, you guys let me know what you think down below. Love that. Very, very cool. Nice way to sort of like bring everything down. Loved it. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.